Grand evening, East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere in between. Welcome to MWR Financial Make Wealth Real University. I am Darryl R. Banks, two-star executive director and founding member of MWR Weekly Corporate Event, where you get to hear from the experts and invited professionals to give you the education you need on this platform and your team so they can see and hear the true value of such an exclusive invitation-only Wealth Club membership where lifestyle and legacy connect. All guests, please get back to the person who invited you to this platform. Please grab yourself your pen and your pads to take copious notes on what you're getting ready to hear. Now, let's see what cities and states have joined us from across the country. We got Durham, North Carolina now. Welcome. Tampa, Florida. Welcome. Chicago. Welcome. Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome. Tallahassee, Florida. Welcome. Greetings from El Paso, Texas. Welcome. Snellville, Georgia. Welcome. Hayville Market, Virginia. Welcome. Orlando, Florida. Welcome. Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome. Goldsboro, North Carolina. Welcome. Battle Creek, Michigan. Welcome. El Paso, Texas. Welcome. Columbia, South Carolina. Welcome. Killeen, Texas. Welcome. Chicago, Illinois. Welcome. Richmond, Virginia. Welcome. Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome. Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to the live. Virgin Islands. Welcome. All 50 states are here to get this information you're not going to want to miss. Gary Ender, welcome. And as you still continue to come on into the live, let's get ready to get started to get this information. The gentleman I'm about to bring on, he is the CEO and founder of MWR Financial. The gentleman has accomplished 30 years plus of success in the financial services space. He has built $4 million companies. The most recent, MWR Financial. His visionary leadership has made MWR Financial to be the fastest financial strategies company in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the live CEO and founder, Mr. Brian T. House.
Hey, Darryl, how are you, buddy?
Man, sir, if it gets any better, I'm not going to be able to stand it. We appreciate everything that you're doing for us. The live is yours.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. And Darryl, it's getting ready to get better. So especially tonight. So I'm excited about tonight, but thank you for all you do, Darryl. I greatly appreciate it, buddy. All right, guys. Hey, listen, I am extremely excited about tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about our new precious metals program that we're getting ready to roll out. But I'm going to tell you this, and Darryl didn't mention, but I'm going to mention it. If you are on any of our live streams and you don't see your team members, people that you know, anybody on here, I'm telling you, send a last minute text, do whatever you got to do, because tonight's a special night. You're going to get to meet our precious metals experts. And you're going to get to hear from them directly. And guys, they are extremely, extremely impressive. This is not something that you want any of your team to miss. It's not something that you want anybody you know to miss, period. Because this is a huge enhancement to our membership, to our wealth membership. And I'm going to kind of lay the groundwork. And I'm going to bring up somebody real quick, though, to help me do this. Before we bring on our special guest, but I'm going to bring up none other than our president of MWR Financial, and that's Mr. Ndamo Tolson. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Brian. How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm great. And my lighting is horrible. You know that you look great, by the way. I look horrible.
No, I was going to say, I don't know if mine is good or not.
No, you're awesome. You look great. But I'm doing it in a different room of our house right now. So we're lighting. I guess I could turn on some other lights, but that's all right. We'll just leave it the way it is. But hey, I'm excited, buddy. This is a big deal. This is something that I know you have done a ton of due diligence on, right. And which I want to say thank you very much. I greatly appreciate you doing that. Also appreciate you bringing this to the table, because when I've had the opportunity to meet the first gentleman that we're going to bring up, and I just got to meet another expert with him that I think is phenomenal as well. But I was extremely impressed, and one with the mission that they're trying to accomplish, which is in alignment with us, which I think is great. Understanding that, you know, we wanted a program that, and we've looked at a lot of things, Dom. We've looked in the precious metals industry, in different spaces that, you know, they just weren't what we wanted to see happen, because with precious metals, most of the programs out there, and this is not to put any of those programs down, but most of the programs out there are focused on just turning people into consumers of precious metals, having them buy their precious metals from them. They make their little markup, and so they sell, you know, precious metals. They're basically, that's what they're in the business to do. And what I saw with the gentleman that we're bringing up is something that was extremely unique. And what I love about it is it's unique to us now, because this program, guys, so you know, this is exclusive to MWR. Okay. And that's a big deal. When you talk about a value add to your membership, what we do is already incredible. But to be able to put people into a position to where, and I'm going to say a phrase here, something that you're going to hear about when these gentlemen speak, that I love the terminology because it is unique, Dom, but you're going to be learning how to become a ratio player. Okay. A ratio player. I want you to remember that, write that down. You know, you're going to learn how to become a ratio player in the precious metals industry instead of just being a consumer in the precious metals industry. And I'm not going to over elaborate on that, but what that means, guys, in a nutshell, is you're going to have access to be able to do everything you need to do. You're going to have recommendations that tell you when and where to buy. You're going to be able to, or what to buy. You're going to then be able to have the tools to be able to purchase that at or below market value, which I love. In addition to that, you're also, you're going to have the ability to do something as an active member with MWR, that you're going to be able to participate in becoming a ratio player. What that means is that you're going to learn how to be able to compound your precious metals or accumulate precious metals by the gains from the precious metals that you already have, by the gains. Okay. And like I said, I'm not going to go into great detail on that. I'll let them do it. They're the experts, but that to me is how you participate in precious metals. I was never big on buy and hold. The reason I wasn't big on buy and hold, if you look at 2013 to 2019, say, for example, with gold, if you bought it, it was a great store of value. But the problem is during that 6-year period of time, your money didn't make any money. You weren't compounding. You weren't growing necessarily because you weren't a ratio player in that industry. Okay. And so this is a big, big deal for all of you. The other thing I like is a low startup to where you know, our land banking, I love it. But if you don't have 40,000 in a retirement that you can convert over, or 40,000 liquid, you may not be able to participate in land banking. This is going to allow people to participate for as little as $100 to be, and that's not monthly. You'll be able to do an auto ship if you want to, but you're going to be able to buy when they tell you to buy, or what they tell you to buy, and or you can be on a standing order. You'll have all those options, but this opens it up to where everybody can now participate in the multiply my money portion of our program, not just with our DCA and PRA, but with tangible assets. I love it that you're going to get this in your hand. Dom, I believe you've got some right there with you, don't you? Hey, what's that?
It's a coin. So this is a coin that's in my hand. It's a coin.
Okay.
In my hand, but then I have, and I will tell you, this thing is heavy, but
the bar. I love it. Yes.
This thing is heavy.
Yeah.
I could sit here and I would get tired, break out in a sweat starting to do this.
Hey, it's like a good watch where you know when you got your money's worth when it's heavy. You know what I mean?
There you go. There you go.
But listen, this is something, guys, that I love it, that so many more people are going to be able to participate in, take advantage of, create a store of value, grow their money, grow their tangible assets. and put them in a better position to win, to prepare them for the future. And I'm not going to go into all that, okay? But we all know there's a transition happening right now. And whether it comes to fruition in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, I don't have the answer to that. And nobody does. So anybody out there that's trying to play expert, that's saying, predict the future and say, next week, okay, our currency is going to go away. Okay, guys, blow it off. Okay, they don't know what they're talking about. All right, because nobody can make that type of prediction. But we do know there's a transition happening. And to me, it's progressively happening. It's happening faster than I've ever seen it happen in history. There's always been a little transition happening ever since we went off the gold standard, Dom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ever since we went, but hey, talking about going off the gold standard, guess what? We're going to put our members back on the gold standard.
Absolutely.
You know, it's I love that. I love that. So with that, I want to tell you this. We originally intended to try to launch this tonight is what we were going to do. We wanted to do our health share program, which there's a promo going on there, which we mentioned in our last live that Indamo and I did. So definitely check that out. It's going till the end of the month. So that's a big deal. In addition to that, we're going to wait because we've got a cruise, Dom, that we've got to go on. We've got a bunch of MWR family that we're all getting to go on a cruise because they qualified for our Fun in the Sun Caribbean cruise. So we're going to go take a cruise on Saturday and we'll be back next Friday. I'll be back next Friday. I think you're coming back Sunday. You're staying a few extra days in the sun. But
I got to work on my tail.
And we didn't want to be gone while we launch this. We want to be here and not on a ship where none of us can communicate properly. Okay, so we thought we're going to wait. So we're going to wait and launch this. But tonight you're going to get a real good look under the hood inside of what's going on with MWR's Precious Metals, but be looking for this to go live, okay, on, I forget the
Thursdays from now.
Not next Thursday, but the following Thursday.
Yeah,
I think it's
Thursdays from now.
I'm not sure. I can't remember the date. 25th, maybe. But listen, without any further ado, Dom, I want to get out of the way because I want to bring these guys up. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to let you do it. Okay. I'm going to let you do the honors because I know I love the time I've gotten to spend so far with David, but I know you've spent a lot more time with David. You all have developed a close relationship. And that's one of the things, guys, that I want you to always know is that we vet the people that work and the experts that work with MWR. We're very selective on who we allow to be able to participate with our members, and they have to bring a specific value that's going to benefit you, and in most cases more than it costs you with your membership. We can say that almost about every service that we have or collectively with our services. We know it's going to benefit people more than what it costs them. And this guy passed the litmus test with flying colors, I can tell you. And you guys will see that too. But I'm so excited for him to be on tonight. I'm going to step aside. And if you guys need me, Dom, you all pull me in. I'll be behind stage. I'm going to turn it over to you and let you bring on our special guest, buddy.
Okay, we'll do that. Well, I appreciate that. And Brian, I'm super, super excited, everyone, to introduce you to a gentleman that not only have a tremendous amount of respect for, but we've become very close in a relatively short period of time. I looked at everything. This gentleman is brilliant. I will just tell you that, and you'll find out very quickly. He is absolutely brilliant, and he has a wealth of knowledge. So when we talk about experts doing the work for you, this is someone that you will clearly see and find out very quickly that he's an absolute expert in the field of precious metals. And that's why he's going to position you and put you in a position to be a ratio player and not just a consumer of metals. He's doing some other things that are going to be so unique to the industry in the world, to a global industry of all the precious metal dealers out there in the world. He's going to have some things that are going to happen that are going to be very unique, specific to his company, which then, because we're now family, and that's how he looks at it. I want you to understand, you're going to see that very quickly. He looks at us as family. I mean, he's really about relationships. It supersedes money. I've never met someone who literally is so humble, but so powerful, so dynamic. And he has a vision. And I have a big vision. Brian House has a big vision for us to put this all together at MWR, but he has a huge vision that you're going to be able to see that you can accomplish your dreams and goals with the vision that he has that is going to impact everyone here. So I will tell you, I'm so excited. And the other thing I'm going to share with you is this gentleman I've been able to do business with. I was able to go through the whole process and the training. And not only just me, I'm going to tell you what I did. I had all my children come around. I'll let him talk to you about that as well. But my whole family got involved in the education that he helped us understand what currency is and what it isn't, what money is and what it can do. Helped us understand the metals, how to become a ratio player. The education was brilliant and phenomenal. And what we're going to have here at MWR is there's going to be a couple of things that you need to do and watch before you can actually purchase the metal, so you have a clear understanding what you're getting involved in. But then you'll be able to purchase the metals, and as Brian said, you'll be able to do it at a low. We're going to meet you wherever you are. So that's the beautiful thing, and I thank David for allowing us to do that. The other thing that's going to happen is that you're going to see that you'll have an ability to then get involved with the advanced training, which is something that you don't possibly need. You absolutely want to know that, because it keeps you in the know where you truly understand what's happening on the global perspective and how it affects our economy here in the U.S. so you can be prepared to be able to take advantage of things. Because remember, we're in a capitalistic society, and this is our operation is capitalism. So you don't want to be capitalized on the lack of knowledge. So with that being said, though, I can't say enough. Super excited. I want you all to meet for the first time here to our MWR audience, Mr. David Wren, the expert of our precious metals environment, MWR Precious Metals. He is the lead expert. David, how are you doing, my friend?
My friend Adamo, how are you? Thank you so much. I just want to thank you, thank Brian, and everyone here, the whole MWR family. We are looking forward to develop this relationship with you all, because one of the things that's so important is that you hear the old cliche that money isn't everything. Well, I will tell you that anyone that says that money isn't everything is because they're broke.
Right.
And what I mean by that, most people think that when you think of money, first thing that they think of is cash. And that's not what money is. Let me tell you what money is. If God created it, it's a form of money. If man created it, it's a form of currency. So how can you live without the things that God has made to what? Sustain our life, to give us our birthright, to be what? Prosperous, to be wealthy. There's a big difference between being wealthy and being rich. And I will tell you, the thing about being rich is that when you're rich, you're one economic mistake away from going broke. When you're wealthy, you can never go broke. It's the biggest difference. And so we are going to show you what has worked for us, but this system that works for us isn't anything that we created. It was given to us as a birthright. And I much rather be on God's economy than be on man's promises to default. And so because of that, I have done so well. My family has done so well. Our company has done so well. Our clients have done so well. You all are going to do so well. And this is one of the things with us with our base in working with MWR. Here's the biggest difference. I have customers. Customers are someone that goes and I just have a buy and sell relationship with them. They buy precious metals, we sell it to them. But when it comes to our clients, We teach them what we do and what we have done to become wealthy. And one of the things I would say to you in becoming wealthy, wealthy is based off of this. The first principle of becoming wealthy is this. You have to first become a prodigious saver. You have to learn the art and you have to master the discipline of saving. Why? Or else you will just be a consumer. And this is the thing. Every consumer eats themselves to death. And this is how they become economically disenfranchised. This is how this whole financial plight and economic plight continues throughout generations, because there's a discipline to it. And I would say that you have to be patient. And most people don't value patience. And that's because they don't have, if people that don't value patience don't have anything of value. Because what happens is that we actually get schooled to become the perfect consumers. And that starts with us in our schooling. Just like you think about if you have a dog and you want to domesticate that dog, or if you have an animal, you want to domesticate that animal. What do? They send them to obedience school. But what we don't realize that we've been sent to financial obedience school for us to be the perfect slave. And I'm going to show you the difference on that. So it's very important. And one of the things that is critical in this is I want you all to, as we start this relationship, this is one of the things you have to grasp. You have to grasp this. I don't care about the price of anything, right? I do not put any emphasis on the price of anything, because we get taught to know the price of everything while knowing the value of nothing. And when we don't know the value of anything, guess what happens? You lose all of the priceless relationships, all of the priceless intrinsic value, assets. And guess what else? You lose your soul, because you were not created to be a debt slave. You were not created to do that. You are a form of money. Money does grow on trees. Most people think, you heard the old saying, money doesn't grow on trees. That's one of the biggest financial lies. That's put into place so that you will be economically deprived. Money absolutely does grow on trees. It's called an apple, a pear, or orange, because if you're hungry, will it sustain your life? Absolutely. But see, what we think is that they tell us that money doesn't grow on trees. So we get into our mind, and subliminally we think right away that a tree would cash on it. That's right, because that doesn't grow on trees, because it's not money. So very important. You know, Dom had said something that and showed you all some real money, and he started, you know, curling it, right? You know why he did that? Because real money has weight. Real money has weight. It's not paperweight. And so what we're going to help you do is we're going to help you to acquire real money using the currency that you have. Do you need currency in your life? Yes. Currency is used for two things and two things only. Well, three things with a minor, basically two and a quarter. But the two things that you use currency for is this. And well, what I do. I use currency to maintain my quality of life and my standard of living. I never, ever save in cash. You know why I never save in cash? Because only rich people save cash to go broke later. Wealthy people save in assets that have intrinsic value that never lose their value, and they never go broke. So that's very important. And I saw Brian was talking about, and I saw one of the members in the chat talk about the gold standard. This is what's so powerful. And one of the things about teaching everyone everything is that we're going to break away all of the misnomers, all of the lies, all of the deceptions. I'm not trying to change the world. I just control mine. And so one of those misconceptions is that we're off of the gold standard. Let me tell you this, folks. There's not a king, a president, a prime minister, a queen, a rabbi, a priest, anyone on this planet, an ambassador that can take the world off the gold standard. You know why? Because man didn't create gold, nor the precious metals. Only the great creator did. So what they did, what Nixon actually did in 71, in August of 71, is he temporarily closed the gold window. He told Connolly, John Connolly, the same John Connolly that was shot here in Dallas with Kennedy, who became his Secretary of Treasury, to temporarily close the gold window. Why did he tell him to temporarily close the gold window? You know why? Because the corporation, the citizens and taxpayers of the United States went broke. They were bankrupt. And because they were bankrupt, what the true controllers of money did and the precious metals did, they didn't want to have the liability of debt default. So they closed the gold window so the other countries couldn't hand in their cash in exchange for gold. Y'all remember years ago, you saw everywhere you went, strip malls in this country, you saw cash for gold places everywhere. You know why that was? That was because what they wanted to do was they wanted to take away the valuable asset of gold from the people and give them worthless pieces of paper. And it worked so well. They were having gold parties and everything else. They were giving you worthless while they were getting priceless. And that's how I knew back then that the true financial crisis that we were going to be living through and experiencing wasn't there yet. Let me ask you something. How many cash for gold stores do you see in strip malls in this country? Because you don't see them anymore because all of the soft mining has already been gathered and taken away. The general population in this country has no real form of money. They have consumer goods of everything. They're consumed to the hilt. And here's the very important thing that you're going to hear me say, and you're going to get used to it. And I want you to really think about this. I want you to think about your wages. I want everybody to think about their wages. What is your wages? Your wages is paid to you for the expenditure of the energy of your labor, because the energy of your labor is a form of money. Think about how many companies have gotten wealthy off the energy of the labor of the people that they employ. So now, I want you to think about that. What are your wages? Let me tell you this. The wage of a king and a queen is silver. Every king and queen is paid in silver. The wage of a lady and a gentleman, someone that works for a king or queen, is paid in gold. And every slave is paid in debt. Go to your wallet. Pull out a currency. I'm going to pull out one here. Right? Federal Reserve note. On the front of it, it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. What's the key word here? Note, promissory note. What does that mean? If you get paid this, you're a slave to the economy. But just because you're paid as a slave doesn't mean that you have to save as one. Just as in the Judeo-Christian Bible, when the slave becomes king or queen, there's a process for you to become king or queen. And I will tell you this, you can't do it with cash. Can't do it with cash. You can use cash to acquire it, but the cash is not the most important thing. At our company, we say that wealth is not determined by the cash that you hold, but the assets you control. That's our motto. That's what we live by. Because what happens when you control assets, particularly the precious metals, you have within your overall control a collateralized financial instrument that all of the banks and all of the institutions are able to create debt against. I'm not one that wants to go into debt. You shouldn't either. Most people say, yeah, hey, let me pay off my debt. I would say, yes, that's a good thing. But most people are thinking about, they're talking about their student loan, their credit card bill, their mortgage, their card payment. That's contractual debt. The most important debt that you need to alleviate you from is saving in something that loses its purchasing power. Let me show you how it loses its purchasing power. Dom, I'll just do it this way. Okay. So if you could just pull someone up out of the audience real quickly, can I ask them a question? Derek, could that be possible?
What we're going to do is, Martina, are you going to send an invitation to Gerald Parker and have him come on? But why don't you go on and ask Brian this question right now, or you can ask me. You can ask Brian, though, because you know. Well,
you already know. Because
I know. So you want to ask Brian? Let's ask Brian House.
Well, I don't want to put Brian on the spot.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Okay. So now.
Okay. So we ask it in general. But Gerald Parker is going to be on in a moment, and he will definitely be able to answer that question. So Martina is going to bring him in our back office.
So everyone in the chat can answer this as well. Is the price of food and gas higher today than it was last year? Is the price of food and gas higher today than it was last year?
Yes.
Don't answer. Yes.
Oh,
okay, Brian.
sorry.
Brian said yes. Okay, that's wrong. That's wrong. Here's what happened. Chicken is still chicken. Gasoline is still gasoline. Unleaded, premium, diesel. And beef is still beef. Here's the difference. The cash that you have to use to acquire it this year, you have to give more of it to get that same underlying asset that you were getting last year. It's not that the price of the items is going up, it's the purchasing power of your dollar is going down. Yeah. That is what definitely defranchises most people, and one of the most important lessons you have to learn.
And I just learned it.
You have to. And so, and it's critical because you are responsible for the decisions that you make. Because every single one of you, one of the reasons why you're a part of MWR is because you knew something was wrong. And what you have to do, you have to start to nurture that overall function in you that something is wrong, and you have to start out and you have to put yourself on a journey to do what? To get knowledge, to get wisdom, to be educated. To be schooling is one thing. To get schooled is one thing. To be educated is something different. When you're educated, you learn from the experience on what to do and what not to do for success. My dad used to tell me this: the wise heeds good instruction while the fool learns from experience.
Ooh.
So it's
hey, David, I gotta stop. Guys, I hope you're taking notes. He is dropping some dimes right now. I'm telling you. No, he's dropping some gold bars. That's what he's dropping. So.
And I will just say this, Brian, because one of the things, I know we're stopping David in a moment, but when I said to bring him on, that he's brilliant, and that he has truly mastered his craft. God has blessed him and has gifted him with the where he is. And for us to have the complete alignment, see, one of the things that David does, remember I said he's about relationships. If MWR was just looking to take advantage of people, make some money real quick, then we would have never had this conversation. It would have never happened. I might have become his client like I did, but he would have never allowed an exclusive environment to happen with his company, with us. It wouldn't have happened. But because we are real serious about making wealth real for people everywhere, that's what our exclusive invitation-only membership is all about. David, when he saw that and understood that and saw what we have in place, he was like, okay, this is a company I can lock arms with. This is a company that I can educate all those that come in that membership so they truly understand. You heard what he said in the very beginning, how to become wealthy, not rich.
Yes.
So David, we appreciate all the nuggets you are dropping big time.
Yeah, and I don't want to interrupt him anymore, but I'm just going to say this. Guys, the value of this program, literally, we could do MWR just off of this program.
Right.
The value of our membership, the fact that we did not increase our membership, the fact that this is an added benefit to you without any additional charge to be able to participate, to gain this knowledge, it's worth, our membership is worth just what you're going to be able to get from David, not to mention all the other incredible things. So grateful to you, David. And I just learned something too. I knew what you were talking about, but when, and everybody answered the same, we all said yes. When you look at all the comments, you know, we all said yes, because in our heads, we don't put into perspective the fact that our dollar is losing money. We think, when we think of inflation, okay, we think prices are going up. And inflation is not really prices going up. It's your dollar not going as far.
No,
So
that's it. And that's because that's what they want us to think. So what we're going to do is, David, we're all going to go backstage with Gerald. We're going to hear from Gerald and just what you think, Gerald. So continue to take your notes at the end. And then, David, when you need to pull us up, just let us know when Martino will bring us up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
So I'm sorry. What was the next thing that we were going to be doing?
No, you can just go on and go from there. You can just what I like you to do, go from where you were, and I like you to touch on
stay here, Adamo.
Okay, I'll stay here. Okay.
Because you know, it was a couple of important parts that were just expressed. I will tell you this. I don't care about pricing. Right. Let me tell you what happens with me and with our family. We don't care about the price, because we don't care if the price goes up or the price goes down. We win either way. And that's with the precious metals, and that's with other things. Because of this, I will tell you this. Like, I have a Rolex watch, a gold Rolex watch. I didn't buy this Rolex. I didn't acquire this Rolex watch for it being a luxury brand. You know why I bought the Rolex watch? Because it has value. I tell you this, before I buy something, I don't care if it's a t-shirt or a tie. The first thing I look at is, how many ounces of silver do I have to give up to get this? Is it worth it? I judge what I'm acquiring versus what I'm giving up of value. And if it doesn't equal out, I don't engage in anything that's doesn't bring value. This is how I was able to break my addiction to a consumerism that I inherited from the teachings that I was schooled under. So it's so important. We don't care about price, even with the precious metals. Last thing I ever look at is the price. I don't care if the precious metals goes up, I win. If the precious metals goes down, I win. Brian talked about the precious metals in 2013. I loved it. I actually love when the actual price goes down. But it doesn't matter to me, because when it goes down, I win. And when it goes up, I win. Let me ask you something. I want you guys to really think about this. I want you to think about something that is probably more relative to a lot of people. Do you really think that the owners of professional teams, do you really think that they care about the score at the end of the game? They don't. You know why? Because they're wealthy. They pay rich people to make them wealthier. That's what we're going to teach you. We don't care what the score is, right? We set the standard that the economy has to come to us to function. It doesn't tell us where to be. I don't have a watch to tell me what time to get up in the morning or where to be or anything else. I dictate my overall day because we're wealthy. And that's so important. And the thing about the precious metals is that it's the easiest and most accessible vehicle to start that discipline and that overall journey and that path to wealth, prosperity. And that's what's so critical in this whole thing. So, Dom, I don't want to get off subject of things because I know. So what is it? Some of the things that we wanted to talk about and share with everyone that you wanted me to share about.
Do this one thing, two things. One, talk to us about, since Brian kind of brought it up with it, and you don't have to go into the full detail because they're going to learn that in training in class, but talk about the ratio player versus the consumer purchase of metals, just a little bit of it. And then the other thing I want you to do is talk about the continuing education, how vital that is, because you did that with my family. So you know how my family received that. You know, already knew I was ready for it. But you have to talk about how you saw my family receive it and what happened in those dynamics. Yes.
And it was such a beautiful situation because I love when the family is there. What we do is that I prefer the family to be there. And Dom will tell you this. You know, individuals, yes, we'll take it, but I prefer the family to know it because I've learned so much over the 20 plus years that we've been in this industry, how if you don't teach the family, then everything that the overall prodigious saver accumulates is going to be destroyed in one generation. I'll give you a clue on that real quick. My mom, I didn't school my mom about precious metals. So when I went off to school and I went off into the military, she thought my silver quarters and my silver dimes were just regular silver quarters and silver dimes. And she used them back in the day at the laundromat. I came home and she handed me paper cash for my overall silver dimes and quarters that she put at the laundromat. And I was upset. It was over $42,000 in silver quarters and dimes in today's market. But you know why that happened? Because I didn't teach what I learned. The process of learning is never complete until you give away what you've learned. And this is what you need to really be giving away to your family, because this system of economic subjugation is teaching your family to be the perfect slaves every day. And it's on you and your responsibility to break it. But in teaching Adamo's family was amazing because they were all collectively in this together and they kept me on my toes. And it was just amazing and beautiful because what I was able to see is I was able to see prosperity go into a phase of perpetuity where it was going to last forever because it was going to Adamo's children and it's going to go to his grandchildren and everyone else and everyone. And guess what? You can never slow down or be stopped after then. So one of the great things with our program and is very important because becoming a ratio player, when you're a ratio player, is very important because if you're not a ratio player, I want to know how many people here within the membership have ever bought silver or gold. Don't say it, just I want you to think about it. I'm pretty sure this. So for myself and my clients and Adamo, we say thank you.
Right.
We say thank you. I'm glad that you bought them. Here's why. Because you don't know the value of them. You're going to be giving it to me and Adamo and all my clients. We're not going to take it from you. I don't need to take it from you. You're going to willingly give it to me and not even know that you're going to do it. And I'm going to get it without paying for it because you don't know the value of what you have. And when you don't know the value of what you have, you lose it. Let me give you an example of that. How many of you are very familiar with gentrification in this country?
Definitely. Just
Okay.
put in the chat a number one if you're familiar with gentrification.
How many are familiar with gentrification in this country? Let me give you a misunderstanding of gentrification in this country. Okay. Okay, cool. Let me tell you what gentrification is. And I hope I can speak bluntly to you all and you all adult enough to be able to grasp what I'm saying, which I do know that you do. Gentrification doesn't happen when white people move in. It happens when Black people or people of that community sell out. Sell out what? Here's what happened. When they sell out something that they don't know that has value. Here's how the system tricks you. What they do, they make you think that your house is an asset. By financial definition, it's impossible for a home to be an asset. Here's why. Do you have to fix the plumbing on it? Do you have to fix the roof on it if it leaks? Do you have to paint it? Do you have to maintain it? Do you have to clean it? Well, if you have to do those and you have to expend capital or currency to do it, it's not an asset, it's a dependent. Do you have to feed your home? You definitely do, just like a child. It's a dependent. The land that the house is sitting on is the money. So what happens is this, here's the trick. They know that a lot of these, in these neighborhoods, that these homes are in economic development zones and the land is valuable. They're generally near all the airports, all the causeway, the commercial ports,
Centers.
the centers, and they are economically embedded in the overall presence. Their overall land presence is extremely valuable. It's like beachfront property. So what happens is this. They come into that family that's probably never even seen $10,000, $20,000 in their life. And what they do is they say this, I'll buy your house for $100,000. And the person who does what? Oh man, let me get this money, because they don't know the difference between currency and money. When you don't know, you are liable to the default of what you don't know. So what happens is they come and give them $100,000, $200,000, and they hand them that and they sell the house. But what happens? They didn't know that the land that the house was sitting on was worth $4 million. So what did that person just do? They were able to get a $4 million asset for $200,000. The key to a profit is where you enter the market, folks, not where you exit. You always enter the market for the best profitability. Exit means nothing. It's your entry. Profitability is determined at entry. So when you are buying precious metals and you're buying precious metals, I never buy precious metals. I accumulate precious metals. It's a big difference. I exchange my currency for something that has value and I make it grow, the actual physical metal grow. So what that means is that I'm not price sensitive and I'm not looking to buy, because whenever you're looking to buy, what is it that you are also looking to do subconsciously? Sell. I never sell an asset. I leverage it to create cash flow or to create more wealth and more assets coming under my control. What king and what queen sells anything? They don't. Only the servants that work for them have to live off of consumer buying and selling. So yeah, it's just the plain truth. I will never sell my precious metals. One of my friends said, Dave, when you gonna sell your precious metals? A long time ago. I said, never. He said, you crazy. You mean if it goes to $10,000 an ounce, you won't sell it? Nope. You know what happens? If they're giving you $10,000 an ounce for it, that means they're getting 3 million for it. I'm going to get the 3 million for it because I'm going to use it as a collateralized financial instrument for where it is. And you have to know how to do that. And that's one of the programs that we're going to be doing with our clients. We are not open to the general public. The only way that you can actually come to us is by a client referring you. And once I met Adamo, you know, I didn't know Adamo was vetting me, but I was vetting Adamo as well. And the vetting took all about 2 minutes. As soon as I met him and his wife here in Dallas, particularly his wife at first, it was an immediate connection. I didn't know that they were married and his son was there. I saw Adamo. I didn't put them all together, but their energy I did, and I grabbed it, and it was so funny. It was one other gentleman from your organization as well. My whole presentation was just going to you four.
Right.
And I
Brian
didn't
B
know.
was the other one. Our number one income earner. He was the other one that was there. Yes.
And so it was, so that's some of the things that you have to know. Once you know, now you can grow. Now you'll know how to plant efficiently and effectively. And that's what we really want to teach. So one of the great things is being clients of ours and being a part of MWR, being members of MWR, and us. What happens is that we teach you how to do all of these things. Proven. I will show you what I do because there is no competition. I already won. My clients already won. When you're winners, you're not really looking at who's in second place behind you. What you do is you gravitate to other winners to continue to grow. It's collective prudence. It's collective prudence. So I want to just give you some quick historical truths about the precious metals, if that's okay, Dom.
Yes. We will do that, and then we'll wrap up after that.
Okay, real quick. Let me just tell you. Most people don't know that silver is more valuable than gold. I'm going to say that again. Most people don't know, and probably no one here knew that. If I would have said, which precious metal do you want to get? Which is the most valuable one? Every single one of everyone would have said gold, because that's what the teaching is. Because of this, they look at price. Let me tell you something. Price is not synonymous with value. This is why things that are priceless, you can't get a price on something because it's so valuable. How valuable is the sun? What would be the price on the market of the sun? There is no market that could put a price on it because the sun is so valuable. Most people don't know that that's where silver comes from. Whenever you saw the coin that Dom was holding up, Adamo was holding up right there. Whenever you hold up 1 ounce of silver, you're holding the most direct representation of the sun. Dom will just flex it back and forth the other way. Once the light hits it, boom, because that's where silver comes from. It comes from the sun, the S-U-N. That's why it's more intrinsically valuable than gold. This is why every king and queen is paid in silver, because of this. If I'm a gold king, and if you're a gold king and I'm a silver king, I'm going to take everything you have. I'm going to take your land. I'm going to take your cattle. I'm going to take all of your material wealth. I'm going to take you, right? Because of this. Silver can be weaponized. If you weaponize silver, you have the most potent weapon in the world. This is how the corporation of the United States became wealthy, not because of gold, but because of silver. And let me just catch this to you all. I want you to think about the Judeo-Christian Bible. Okay? Haggai, I believe it's 6:21. It says, the silver and gold is mine, thus saith the Lord of hosts. It said silver first, then gold. Also, if you look at when man was created in the Judeo-Christian Bible, 4 verses later, it said, go to Hebula where the gold is good. Go to Hebula where the gold. Yes, Roger Grant. Roger Grant is one of my good friends and one of my clients. I love Raj. So it says, go to Hebula where the gold is good. So first, man was created, then gold was created, right? Okay. Now, I want you to think about when Jesus was tempted for 40 days and 40 nights. When he came out of the wilderness, the great Satan was there to do what? To tempt him. And what did he say to Jesus? Couldn't lie to Jesus. He said, if you will bow down to me, I will give you this. What was he given? The world. What was Jesus's response after temptation? I want you to think about that. What was Jesus's response after temptation? He said this: man can't live on bread alone, but on every word that proceeds from the Father's mouth. Let me break that down, what Jesus just said to you. What is bread? Bread is not a natural food. Orange, apples, and pears are natural foods. Bread is also a slang for what? Cash. Cash, right? So man can't live on cash alone, but on every promise that comes from God's mouth. You know what the first promise out of God's mouth was? Let there be light. You know what that really means? Let there be silver. There can't be any light without silver. Silver creates light. No light, no silver. That's why the sun gives us light, because it's silver. So what was the most important thing God said? Let there be light first, then let there be man, then let there be gold. And I'm going to cap it off with this. What was the only time you saw the Prince of Peace, Jesus, display any form of violence? It was in the temple when he was there doing what? Turning over the tables, whipping them with a cat and nine tails. Right? What did he say to them? You turned my Father's house into what? A den of thieves. Why did he say that they turned him into a den of thieves? Because they changed the perception of money to the people so that they can enslave them and lose their birthright, their God-given birthright. So he whipped them for it. Then they got upset at him. And what did they do? What did they do? They wanted to kill him and crucify him. What was the ransom Judas was paid to sell out Jesus? Somebody put it in the chat. What was the ransom Judas was paid to sell out Jesus? It was 30 pieces of silver.
Right. The silver. That's they were coming. It's coming. They were coming. There it
30
is.
pieces of silver. You know why it was 30 pieces of silver? Because you can't sell a king out with gold. It's spiritual. And if you don't come on board on that, you're going to lose everything. This is why in Hollywood, they say that they control your mind on what? The silver screen. Because it controls light. And this is why in the past, they say born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Because you are born in a silver spoon in the mouth, so it will kill all the diseases and bacteria. That's why silver is 10 times more valuable than gold, because it's the only precious metal that can directly save your life. And it is most efficient at killing. It creates nuclear weapons. So go back to Jesus. Last part. Go back to Jesus. And this is the thing you need to learn about Jesus coming out of temptation. Jesus was asked, if you will bow down to me, I will give you the world. And he said, no. Right? Here's what it is. How can we call ourselves Christians while we're still on the devil's payroll? We are coming out of temptation. We get tempted with the bread. And that bread causes us to sin beyond and do all the things that really, really perpetuate our demise, our family demise. So how can you be a part of that and you're still on the devil's payroll? So this is spiritual. And because of that, guess what? Ladies, think about it. How many promises have men broken to you? We'll tell you there isn't one promise that the great creator God Almighty has ever broken. Man breaks all of them. They even call it promissory notes. I promise to break this note. You need to learn how to use this correctly and you'll be fine. And then it will change your whole life. But if you continue to take the temptation of after 40 days and 40 nights of being tempted and take the devil's offer, I guarantee you every deal you make with the devil, you lose your soul. You lose your soul. So this is spiritual, really. So Dom,
Wow. Hey, you know what, David? It has been absolutely awesome. I'm going to bring Brian and I want you to meet one of our top leaders in the company. His name is Gerald Parker. And Gerald, just take just 2 minutes and just let us know from the field perspective. And I saw you putting comments in there. I said, well, let's bring Gerald on. How do you feel about what's going to happen with the precious metals and what you see happening for your life because of the relationship we now have with Mr. David Wren?
Mr. Wren, first of all, I thank God for you, sir. You are truly a godsend. Unbelievable. And Donald, these are kingdom principles here that we're learning tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You understand that? We can get on the right track now to win, not just for today, but tomorrow and forever. We're talking God's money now. We're in the game, ladies and gentlemen. This is a home run if there ever was one, no question about it. But, sir, the knowledge that you bring, this is the message that people need to be taught. These are the things that we need to talk about. You peel back the onion. You just gave us a piece of it, and I know there's more. I can't wait to participate in your training. I want to be the first in line to buy the precious metals and get this thing moving and build some generational wealth. Because as you said, there's a difference between rich and being wealthy. But I'm telling you, you dropped some nuggets tonight. One of my favorites one, you says here, you don't care what the score is. I love that. I absolutely love it. But it's a whole new way of thinking. This is the paradigm shift. And Damo, I think that we all need. And this training gets us there. But sir, your wealth of knowledge, Damo mentioned earlier that you were genius. I have to endorse that and totally agree. Brian and Damo, we've got a winner here. You guys know how to pick them. I'm telling you, I trust your judgment on everything that you've done. But I tell you, this is the one. This is the one. If there ever was one, this is the one. Bless you, sir.
Thank you, Gerald. Thank you so much.
Brother.
Yes. And Brian, I already know you have goosebumps. I already know. So
well, I do. And Dom, you know why. And,
right.
I always say MWR was a faith-based decision to start this company. And I look at the things that we just implemented, our health share program and just their terms to participate, and the faith-based mission that they're on to be able to provide affordable health coverage, affordable health care for people, and how that's a faith-based program as well. Then I listen to David. And again, guys, we respect everybody's religion, whatever your religion is. We also respect our own. We understand, that there are some principles in a book that I can't prove wrong, and I don't know anybody that can. Okay, that if we follow that and stuff, there's no way that you can lose in life because it's God's promise for you to have prosperity. And if you understand that and you understand what is being taught, what we're doing here, it's all based around that. It's all biblical-based principles that will not steer you wrong. There's nothing we do in this company that can hurt you. And to me, Dom, we've said this before, but it's like I'm a big believer in divine intervention. Every time I feel like God has placed everything that we need in this membership for us to take people from where they are to where they want to be in life financially, he smacks me and says, hey, you need to look at this because you're missing this piece. And I'm going to tell you, our goal is not to continue adding and adding and adding and having 50 million things that you have at MWR. But when these things present themselves in a way that are in alignment with the company, that we know are good for our members, that is going to make a difference and have a huge impact on what we're trying to do to help people become better stewards of their money and do the right things financially, I can tell you, we couldn't pass it up. We couldn't pass it up, could not implement this. And I'm just grateful that it's not David, it's not just you. It's every partner we have, the alignments that we have with MWR. It's like all of us have our heads in the right place and we're all trying to do the right thing. And so I'm grateful for you. I can tell you, I learn something new from you every time I speak to you. I like to think I'm pretty financially astute, but when I can sit down and I'm sitting here taking notes right this second myself, that's a plus for me, David. And because I know that's something I'll be able to pass on to my children, and that's what I want to see our members do. I want to see them be able to make this to where it's not one generation, but it's every generation moving forward.
So Brian, and I want to say this, because I want everybody put into the chat, because you know who he is, say thank you, Roger Grant. Yes, because it was at his. Because Roger Grant, when you become a client of his, and you have your trust, and we have many people that have started doing that here at MWR, he puts on workshops so you can learn more information, so you can really create the value of the trust. And one of the presenters that he had at the workshop was David Wren. That's how I met him. And then through that, we started a relationship. And I said, wait a minute. And as we started talking, I said, man, I see this as a tremendous fit for MWR. But I said, let me just go and look and go through the process. So I've gone through the complete process. I have metals. I've gone through, watch this. One thing I need to make sure we're all clear on, you're going to see a button, and Brian, you could talk about this, or the 3 boxes, because that additional training, that additional education is not just something you can go, oh, I got some metals, I don't have to worry about that. It is essential, because if you think what you heard tonight was powerful, wait till you get to the other parts of the training that you need to have. I am telling you, it's essential to help you create wealth.
Yeah, it is. It is powerful. Guys, I'm going to tell you this, and then we'll say goodnight. When we get back, you're going to see in our back office where you're going to see some information about the program and stuff, but you're also going to see 3 boxes, just like a lot of our services, where the first box is you're going to have to watch some training, okay? And this training is important. We do not want people just coming in and buying precious metals. As David said, you're a client when you're with MWR. You're not just a customer. Right. You're not just a customer. You're a client. So we want you to be somewhat educated on precious metals and the impact of this program before you make your purchase. So your purchase button won't even go live until you completed watching the videos for training. So you're going to have to do that. Okay. And I think that's important, because again, there are a lot of companies out there, a lot of people out there in this industry that they don't care. They just want you to buy from them. Okay. We're not interested in that. We want you to do it for the right reasons. We want you to do it because you understand it. Okay. Not just because we said so, because you made an educated decision. Okay. So I think that's extremely important. The other thing is, when that purchase button goes live, you'll be able to purchase. Okay. Here's a couple of things I want you to know. There will be some advanced trainings that will go on, that David will do a lot deeper dive into what he's been able to accomplish. And I'm going to tell you guys, some of the things that he is doing and that he has done are extremely impressive. Extremely impressive. Okay. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for MWR in regards to some things I know that he's working on right now, which are amazing. But at the same time, that's a big deal. So we'll have some advanced trainings. Now, those may be a paid training too. It may be $50 to participate or something like that, because we want to compensate David for his time for educating our members. And I think that's only fair. Okay.
And I need to say this, Brian. He normally, just for individual, is $1,000 for the training. Yeah. So that is a steep
for clients. Clients, it's $1,000
$1,000 per client for training. So that's all his clients. That's what they've done. But he sees what we're looking to do here at MWR. So David, I just have to applaud you for willing to be able to make that happen.
I'm gonna tell you guys, and because I don't want to keep this. I'm gonna tell you guys. Gary and I, my partner, who's here, Gary and I have been approached by many institutions that have approached us and approached me to say, how would you like to have one client? No, because they didn't fit and they didn't have the overall core values that we have. They're not a part of what we want to do. It's not a part about who we are. And we've told major organizations, I have a very polite way of saying no. And so we said no to everyone. But do you know, once I met Dom and then he told me about you guys, it was a natural fit. And I will tell you, we won't be joining any other organizations. We're not joining any other. I don't need that. We don't need that. That's not who we are. It's all about energy and relationships. So we're exclusive. And pretty soon we will close our client window because we'll have to, because of some of the things that we're going to be doing. We don't need everyone. We just need the right ones. And I'm found my home here.
I love it. I love it, Dave. And I'm so grateful for that. And I think, you know, timing is important. And I believe that, like I said, I believe in divine intervention. There was a reason why we met, because you're dealing with a membership base here that already has the basic knowledge of finances because of the other programs that we offer, that makes it so much easier for them to get an understanding of precious metals and being effective in that. And I just think it's a perfect alignment. So I'm grateful for that. And I appreciate you, buddy, for doing that. Now, in addition to this, I'm just going to add this real quick and then we'll go. Guys, your membership just became extremely valuable. One, just the knowledge alone is crazy, okay, that you're going to be able to get from David and his team. But I can tell you this, as a member, you're able to participate in, you'll be able to have buy alerts, things where David and them let you know specific windows of time that you should buy specific precious metals, maybe palladium, and that's your choice. If you want to buy or not, that's up to you. But specific windows that are the best times to be able to buy specific precious metals, gold, silver, palladium, whatever it may be. Okay. And you'll have access to be able to purchase those types of precious metals based off of those buy alerts. In addition to that, the compounding effect of what we're talking about, being a ratio player and being able to, accumulate more tangible assets, more precious metals, or tangible assets in general with the gains off of your precious metals. Guys, all of those things are only available to active members of MWR. Anybody gives up their membership, they give up that right. Okay. And I think this is a incredible value. And David talked about that. I think too many people look at price. You look at our membership and it's $149.97 a month, and people will discount that, David, because they don't understand the value.
The value.
Yeah. I mean, why would you not pay $149.97 for something that can put thousands and tens of thousands back into your pocket? It makes no sense. But it's because of the mindset of people out there. And that's something, guys, we've got to get good at conveying. We're the only membership on the planet that puts more money in people's pockets than what it costs them every month. The only membership. Name one, anybody, okay? Nobody can, okay? Because most things are consumable products or services that create expenses. We don't. Right. We create money back into your pocket. That's it, okay? And so with that, I just want you to know the value you have. I don't want you to know the importance of exclusivity with this program. And I want you to know that participation and what do we say, Dom? Membership has its privileges. Yeah, that's right. Has its privileges. And so this is a real blessing for MWR, for all of you. I hope you guys are as grateful as we are to have this relationship and this partnership. And guys, I'm looking for great things to come. So with that, I'm going to say this, David, I love you, brother. I appreciate everything you're doing,
love
man.
You as well.
Grateful, Dom, that you found David, and along with the relationship with Roger, which all of these things are in alignment with us. And I'm just excited about what the future holds. And I can't wait to get back from I'm excited about what we're going to do on this cruise.
Right.
I'm having fun, but I can't wait to get back from this cruise and be able to put this in everybody's hands, so they can access it and start really making wealth real with precious metals. And so
I will tell you this, Gary and I,
yes.
Gary Virgin and I truly appreciate you all. And I see this as a money relationship.
Yes.
Because it sustains life. It's enough to go around for everyone. Yep. It's about collective prudence because we're going to need each other going forward.
Yeah.
Love Roger. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate Roger. Roger and I have developed a friendship, and he's been a client for so long. And Roger is my guy. And but Gary and I just want to thank you all, and we're looking for this relationship flourishing because we know it will. And there's an obligation, and our obligation is to one another, and that overall is to maintain the prosperity flow. Everything has value. A slave looks at price, while royalty seeks value. In this relationship is going to be valuable.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, David. Guys, hey, I want to thank everybody that joined us on this. This will be, I see in the comments, there were some people asking, it is recorded. It's on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube. It is shareable. So if you want to share it with friends or family or people that you know and you love and you care about, because you want them to do well in life too, feel free to get it out there, guys, because we want to make sure MWR is no longer the best kept secret in this industry. All right. So have a great night. Love you guys. Have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.